This video is being brought to you with thanks to our friends at Surfshark. Surfshark is an app or browser extension that allows you to not only browse the internet entirely anonymously, but also very securely. Surfshark will secure your data with industry-leading measures using uncrackable encryption and the most secure VPN protocols. One subscription with Surfshark will work across all of your devices. I use it for unlocking things like American Netflix. We also use it if we want to watch our Canadian DAZN account and a couple of other bits and pieces. The good news is you can get 83% off. That's right, I did say 83% off. And an additional 3 months free using the Anfield agenda link in the description. They've also got a really credible and unique 30-day money back guarantee. If you don't like Surfshark, it doesn't meet your needs, which I'm going to be honest with you, it will and you won't. But if you do, if you want to change, Surfshark give you 30 days to change your mind. Why not give Surfshark a try? You'll be supporting us here at Anfield Agenda and you'll be treating yourself to the best VPN provider out there, bar none. I thought it's finally time that I actually got my finger out and got round to making a Team of the Year video. I've gone through, had a little look and tried to come up with a fair and a balanced Premier League Team of the Year. I'm going to get straight into it and start off with the goalkeeping position. Now, there has been some shouts amongst other fans about Jose Sa and the impact that he's had at Wolves, but if I'm being really honest with you, my friends, there is no competition, there is no debate. It's Alisson Becker. You might say to me, Craig, Ederson has also had the same amount of clean sheets this season, but Alisson Becker's a better goalkeeper. Alisson Becker has been, in my opinion, more important to Liverpool than Ederson has perhaps been to Manchester City. Alisson Becker is the best one-on-one goalkeeper I've seen since Manuel Neuer, Peter Schmeichel. So to me, it's a no-brainer. So my goalkeeper for the Team of the Year is Alisson Becker. Looking at the goalkeeper situation, I don't think there is any honourable mentions. Alisson Becker is the answer, and to me, I don't think anybody even comes close. Yes, Sa has had a relatively impressive campaign. Ramsdale has done okay at Arsenal, and there's no honourable mentions for goalkeeper. It is Alisson Becker. If you want to say Ederson to make yourself feel a little bit better, maybe fair enough, but there's none for me. Alisson is clear. Moving on to right back, and this is where the Liverpool propaganda for me continues, because I know a lot of people believe that Trent may be a little bit suspect defensively, but for me, he's brilliant. He is brilliant. He's reinventing what we think is possible from a right back. So my right back is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now I promise you, it's not all Liverpool. I know the first two have been, and you're probably thinking, Craig, come on. You said this was going to be balanced. Keep with me. Moving over to left back. Again, I don't think many of you are going to be surprised at my decision here. Is it Andy Robertson? Well, actually, no. It isn't Andy Robertson. And I did look around the league, and obviously Chilwell has had injuries, so he didn't get a lot of the season, but Alonso's done okay at Chelsea. You look around Cresswell at West Ham, somebody I think is very good. But ultimately, even though we can play in both full-back positions, I think the answer here, and the fair answer, is João Cancelo from Manchester City. He is phenomenal, as well as Trent Alexander-Arnold on the other side. So I think it's only fair that João Cancelo gets the nod at left-back, because he's a phenomenal footballer. He's been a great piece of business from Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. So goalkeeper Alisson, right-back Trent, left-back Cancelo. Moving into the centre-backs now. First one, Virgil van Dijk. You're welcome. Virgil van Dijk has come back from having an ACL and has just continuously showed us why, in my opinion, he is not only the best Premier League centre-back, but right now, probably the best centre-back in world football. Now, I know that's a big statement, but name me somebody who's better. I don't think you can. Yes, you might not like Liverpool, I get that. Virgil van Dijk has been phenomenal. To come back and look as impressive as he has, I think even adds to the man's mystique or his allure. So, first centre-back choice for me, Virgil van Dijk. Who plays alongside Virgil van Dijk, though? I haven't gone for any of the Liverpool players. So, Joel Matip, I believe, has had a good season. Canade's had a very impressive first campaign. But I did look around the league. I looked at Manchester City, and it was very difficult not to go with Ruben Diaz because, again, Ruben Diaz has been a fine acquisition for Manchester City. But for me, no, he doesn't get the nod. Thiago Silva? No, not for me. Again, very good player, great career. But ultimately, when it came down to it, I've gone for Tony Rudiger. Now, people might think, and I know Chris Stoney certainly believes this, that he's a back three merchant. But to me, I think he has been one of the most impressive players throughout this Premier League campaign. I think that it's a huge loss for Chelsea that Tony Rudiger is going to be gone to Real Madrid. So my centre-back pairing, Virgil van Dijk and Tony Rudiger. I would say you wouldn't go too far wrong with those two gentlemen as your centre-backs. Ruben Diaz, very difficult to leave him out. It's only because of how impressed I've been with Rudiger this season that I left out Ruben Diaz. Kyle Walker, again, somebody who has been a phenomenal servant to Manchester City, phenomenal servant to Pep Guardiola, really important to the way that they play. He's a tremendous athlete. He's got an engine and pace that you wouldn't believe. To see him going up and down that flank for Manchester City effortlessly is something to behold. So Andy Robertson, of course, from a Liverpool perspective, missed out. He's had another great season, and again could potentially win 3 of the 4 trophies on offer. And Joel Matip has been outstanding for Liverpool this season, and I think maybe gone under the radar with a lot of people about quite how impressive he's been. He has helped Virgil van Dijk be able to get back up to speed gradually, and I just want to give a mention to Matip because he's been phenomenal. Moving into midfield now, I've gone for a 4-3-3 system. So first midfield that I'm going to put out is a name that, you know, has been mentioned by Jamie Carragher, has been mentioned by, I think, Gary Neville, and has impressed everybody this season. I'm putting aside my Irish bias here and my Irish dislike for this particular guy, and I'm going to go with Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice is continuously evolving and turning out to be one hell of a centre midfielder. You know, where his best position is it in an 8? Is it in a 6.5? Should it be a bit further forward? I don't really know. Nor do I want to go through a system where I've gone for a holding midfield, this, that and the other. I've just picked the 3 best midfielders that I think are around, and I think Declan Rice deserves his place. You know, he's destined for bigger and better things than West Ham. No disrespect to West Ham, but sometimes you have a talent that is so good that he's going to go on to one of Europe's top clubs. I know West Ham have tried hard to keep him, offered him an 8-year deal, but ultimately I think Declan Rice deserves a place in my Premier League Team of the Year. So he's midfielder number 1. My second midfielder is a Manchester City one. I didn't want to be overly biased towards Liverpool or overly anti-Liverpool, but I genuinely think midfield is probably one of the positions where I think we don't really have an outstanding contender. Yes, Fabinho is excellent, but I would say I probably think I'd give Rodri the nod. So the second midfield choice for my Premier League Team of the Year is Rodri from Manchester City. He is a phenomenal player. He is a unit. I thought when they signed him first that he might be a little bit too cumbersome, a little bit too robotic, but he's chipped in with a couple of goals as well this season. And last day of the season, you know, he scored the second goal in their amazing comeback against Aston Villa. I'll never forget that comeback. That's going to haunt me for as long as I live. I can't lie, it still haunts me. I still feel Olsen should have saved it. But he scored their second goal. So I'm going to give Rodri the second spot in my midfield. The third spot, really difficult this one, because I felt like I should have maybe found a way to get Bernardo Silva in there, but ultimately I think on balance I've made the right decision. So my third midfielder is going to be Kevin De Bruyne. You know, he has been phenomenal. He's the closest thing I've ever seen to Steven Gerrard. Some people may believe he's better than Steven Gerrard. I don't. I don't think we'll ever see a midfielder better than Steven Gerrard. But for me, Kevin De Bruyne is a very worthy player in my midfield. So my midfield trio is Declan Rice, Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne. Again, if you think I'm wrong or I've missed out on somebody or I'm entirely biased towards the top 6 or the top 4, let me know in the comment section. It feels really wrong to leave Bernardo Silva out. He's been phenomenal. I don't like Bernardo Silva as a Liverpool fan for obvious reasons, the Guard of Honour being one. I have to push my bias down and just say he's incredible. An incredible player, and there were periods this season where I think he was almost unplayable. Jarrod Bowen, another player who I'm giving an honourable mention to, somebody who I'd love to see at Liverpool actually, somebody who's just being called up for his first England cap. He's had a phenomenal season, a real, I don't know if you want to call it a breakthrough season, but you know, West Ham very unlucky not to go all the way perhaps in the Europa League. I think they missed a trick on the last day of the season. I think with United not winning, West Ham really didn't capitalise on that opportunity to guarantee themselves Europa League football again, and they're going to be in the Conference League, which it's a big drop down. But Jarrod Bowen's been phenomenal. Saka at Arsenal, my God, what a season Saka has had. I know some people think that he's overhyped. I don't. I think Saka's a tremendous player. Will he be able to fulfill his potential at Arsenal? That remains to be seen. Fabinho, another player that I think needs an honourable mention in midfield, because for us, he's been absolutely tremendous. And I'm sure that there are many, many others. The reason I'm not putting in the likes of Kulishevsky or any other attacking slash wingers slash players like Diaz is because they only came in January. So they're my honourable mentions around midfield. So my attackers are as follows. Again, this is one area where Liverpool could make a very good shout for 1, 2, maybe 3 positions. But I tried to be as fair as possible. So the first player I'm going to go with is the man who will share the golden boot with Mohamed Salah. And that is Heung-min Son of Tottenham Hotspur, or Spurs as we know them. Phenomenal. What is not to like about Son and the way he plays the game? He plays it with a smile on his face, works really hard for his team. And this season he's just gone on to another level. He's brilliant. He is absolutely brilliant, Son. And I think he would slot seamlessly into any team in Europe. I was going to say the Premier League, but in Europe. And they've got a great, great player on their hands there. He is 29 years of age, but I still think he's going to continue to show us quite how good he is. So, for me, a very deserving spot in my team of the year for Heung-min Son. And I don't think anybody can really disagree with me on that one. The other 2 forward positions... Firstly, let me just say, one of them is Mohamed Salah, and you can't argue about it. He fell away a little bit, perhaps, in the second half of the Premier League campaign. Certainly didn't put up numbers similarly to the first half, but still, an ungodly amount of assists this season, as well as being joint top scorer with Son. So Mohamed Salah, I don't think anybody can argue, should be in the team of the year. So left-hand side, Son. Right-hand side, Salah. Who did I go with through the centre? Did I go with Harry Kane? No, I didn't. I'm a big fan of Harry Kane, the footballer. Not so much a fan of Harry Kane, the person, even though I don't know him. But as a footballer, been very, very pleasantly surprised about how he's reinvented his game, been able to drop a little bit deeper. He's more of a provider to Son these days than he is an out-and-out scorer himself. So I didn't go Harry Kane. Looking around, Manchester United, Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think Ronaldo was a patch on the player that he once was. But even saying that, he put up a lot of goals this season. But he didn't make my team either. I've gone for Sadio Mane through the centre. And the reason I've gone for Sadio Mane through the centre probably is a little bit biased. I think he's been phenomenal since Jurgen Klopp moved him there. And if I'm being really honest with you, as we're recording this, I'm extremely concerned about the interest in Sadio Mane from Bayern Munich, who look like they want to bring him in as a Lewandowski replacement. So yeah, for me, my front 3, and I suppose the final 3 positions, Son on the left, Salah on the right, and I've gone for Sadio Mane to the centre. Manchester City don't really have a recognised number 9 this season, albeit with Haaland and Alvarez, they're certainly not going to be short of them next season. So Gabriel Jesus didn't really justify it, in my opinion. Arsenal, again, probably an area that they're going to look to strengthen in. And it was very difficult, leaving out the likes of Saka and stuff. But just again, to recap, my Premier League team of the year. Goalkeeper, Alisson Becker. Right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Left back is João Cancelo from Manchester City. Centre backs, Virgil van Dijk and Tony Rudiger. In midfield, Declan Rice, Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne. Up top, left-hand side Son, right-hand side Salah. Through the centre, Sadio Mane. In attack, obviously Harry Kane. Another good season from him. Again, I'm being massively impressed with the way Kane's been able to link up play and almost becoming a bit of an assist maker for Son. Another person who I think deserves a lot of respect is Mikel Antonio at West Ham. I mean, is there a position that gentleman can play? If there is, I don't know about it. He's, again, been absolutely phenomenal for them. And when they've really been devoid of a goal scorer, he's stepped up on numerous occasions, works really hard and fights hard for his team, and I'm sure is an absolute joy to manage as well. And again, in attack, I mentioned him a while ago, Cristiano Ronaldo, somebody who isn't at his best, isn't the Cristiano Ronaldo of once, or that he once was, but still, you've got to respect the amount of goals that the man has scored this season. So he, of course, gets an honourable mention as well.